I should just mention before this video starts that a lot of my complaints or problems are with multiple different endings and multiple different results off of the choices that you make. Not necessarily all of them, kind of all of them, but you get where I'm saying. At the end of the day, this is all just my opinion and this is just a game. It's just not that serious. Any of the traumatic experiences that I'm critiquing, I'm not critiquing them as like a real experience. I'm talking about this set people with these set problems and this set dialogue, and maybe I'll make a whole video on why all of them suck, but back to whatever. I just finished a Hot Pocket and it burned the roof of my mouth. But I needed that bite of Hot Pocket to not be hungry. You ever have one of those moments of like, it's gonna be bad, you should wait for it to cool down, but it's like my head was hurting, I was real hungry, I'm like, I need this bite of Hot Pocket to survive right now, it feels like. Anyways. Hi guys, it's Luna and welcome back. Today we're talking about Life is Strange. Well, specifically we're talking about Life is Strange True Colors, a new game that just came out and everybody's so smitten with. Now, I'm a Telltale person, personally. Choose your own adventure, you get so much dialogue, so many interesting tidbits, all of that type of stuff. And while Telltale games were not perfect, they were so great in their storytelling and their grabbing of the character and how they presented things to you and where it went, whether it was fantasy, real life, it didn't matter. Most Telltale games, in my opinion, were pretty on par. Now, I wouldn't say necessarily hate this series. I would just say that, well, the characters are insufferable, they're irritating, they're frustrating. They usually lack empathy or common sense, or what I perceive to be common sense, because common sense is actually not really common. It's more of like whatever you grew up around. But they tend to be terrible people who do terribly dumb things for not really justified reasons, and they try to throw like trauma and while they're kids in there or while they're younger in there and try to make it why, and it's just like,
that's some bullshit.
I feel like most people, or at least the people you would see on the internet, grew up with the kind of thought of be nice to other people in any situation, whether it's traumatic or not. Have other people's feelings into consideration. If you don't, you'll probably be looked at as like a dick by most people. Life is Strange shows us something that we all kind of knew, but we're all kind of trying to kind of push away from. And that's that people suck. Now, I don't like people personally. I have social anxiety and I just have social problems in general. I genuinely do not like people, and that's the best way I can describe how I feel. People are unempathetic, they're unbelievably stupid, they're irritating, they don't listen, they're selfish, they're controlling, they're manipulative, they don't self-reflect. There are so many problems I have with people, including myself, and so usually I try to do all of that for everyone, which, trust me, lately, especially lately, I've realized I'm doing that for other people and it's not being done to me, and you really shouldn't be wasting your time in other people. My personal problems aside, in this game it just shows me that, wow, I forgot that like regular people, because I haven't been around people so long, the regular people are this scummy, and regular people have these feelings and they try to rationalize, and it just doesn't make any sense to me because of maybe it's just the life experiences I have or just learning from other people. The thought process these people would have, like, it just doesn't seem rational to me. For example, by the way, spoilers, because I'm gonna be talking about the whole game, the way people treat Alex is crazy. The way they're able to get away with almost forgetting about the sister of a murder victim is insane to me. And it's like, bro, we are that bad because everybody here does the exact same shit, but I'm sure it's normal. I know it's normal around here for people to be able to do stuff like that. and people to be able to rationalize that. But the fact that even after realizing that they really have been really not caring about Alec and her feelings and how maybe she's maybe keeping this in and suppressing, and she's helping everybody else, but you see that like her reaction to stuff has been so muted. The fact that no one really had that much concern for her is crazy. You would think people usually come together with the victim's family to try to console them and help them, especially when it's Alex, someone who just came here on their own, and her whole reason of coming here was to live with her brother and make a new life. Most people would be around her and trying to really help her. They really didn't. Like, the fact that Steph even tried to form a relationship with her, and you know what I'm talking about, like a relationship with her right now, not even, and barely even asking her, like, how are you doing? Are you good?
Great. Then come with me. I still have friends in Seattle who book shows. Maybe we start there, or, I don't know, Kansas City, Vegas, wherever we want.
You don't want to pressure me, but you're asking me as I'm investigating my brother's death that you barely asked me about, that no one cares my feelings about, to leave with you. And you're making it dramatic.
Look, I don't want to pressure you.
Yeah, no pressure.
But I've seen you give so much of yourself to make sure other people get what they need. And I guess I wonder if you've thought about what you need.
Yes, because I need isn't people to talk to, someone to console me, someone to be with me without being in love with me. I don't need any of that. I need to leave with a rando girl I just met who totally cares about me. That's why in one of the scenarios she freaks out on me when I hear my dead brother's voice before he died, when we were discussing the incident of how he died. And I'm finding out that there's stuff in play that's disgusting and that their justice may not even be served. I need to leave with you. This is for me and what I want. That's why you didn't just ask me this in general. And you're telling me you're leaving and you want me to come with you. Not let's leave together. What do you want to do? This is what I'm doing. You come with me. This is toxic. If you have someone who talks about them caring about you and they do some shit like this, do not go with them. So you know that this girl has just been in foster care. She just saw her only family that she has. You know they don't have parents anymore. Like the lack of care for the character Alex was irritating.
You okay?
We're gonna get him. I promise.
What the hell?
Oh, it doesn't matter. None of it fucking matters. He's dead. He's...
Fuck that. I don't need to take this.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Great. Then come with me. But I've seen you give so much of yourself to make sure other people get what they need. And I guess I wonder if you've thought about what you need.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Like, I listened to the last recorded words from my brother I will never see again, that I watched die, that I'm now investigating the murder and finding out that it's being a whole cover-up. That was my brother who I'm listening to like him talking, like, I can't. What? I can't. And then later, I don't care if she apologized or not, by the way. She apologized after this, after Alex apologized first. Like, she initiated it. The bitch could have texted her, and the text that she had after this event had nothing to do with that apology. She could have texted her. She should have came up to her first. That is not what happened. Alex initiated the apology, and then what's-her-face went suit. That's some bullshit. So I don't give a fuck that she apologized. It was meaningless, in my opinion. The fact that you would later ask me to, like, leave with you on this romantic thing as if that was appropriate, or even like it's been more than a month, is kind of gross. It kind of feels like, no, that shouldn't have been a thing. It's raining, so excuse that for a second. On top of that, I just realized that she swears that she's not pressuring her and that she should be thinking of herself, but you basically put her in an atmosphere where if she says no, she's a dick. If she rejects you, she's kind of losing you in a sense, and you're asking her to just go on this trip with you, and I really like you, and really just putting her in an uncomfortable position after you guys had a moment where you also acted a bit rashly, and this moment is obviously putting pressure on her. You're basically springing it on her. You're gone. You're not coming back. This just happened. You're not giving her any time. You're just like, I'm leaving. Do you want to come with me? I'm in love with you. Totally not pressuring you. It's like, this is not the appropriate time. Maybe after the investigation is done, something like that, when she's, hell, even if you leave on your trip, you can tell her, hey, if you want to come with me, you can. If not, that's fine. Maybe you want to come later down the line, whatever. You're acting like she needs to leave with you right exactly now. This person, she's pressuring her to do this. This is crazy. And people genuinely are like standing them, and like this is toxic. This is toxic behavior. Red flags are flying. This is Chloe from the first game all over again. Even the mom, her rationale for like who she was blaming was
Meh.
maybe it's just me or how I would feel. I feel like I'd blame myself because I knew my child was about to go up there. I was warned and told. I was not watching them. Even after Gabe died, he was just in the park, not being watched by himself. Like, the kid could do anything, get into anything. Anything could happen, and she just isn't watching her child still. He could be at the shop in the back playing games until she's done, where she's watching him. That's not what's happening. The rain just wants to be hard as fuck, and then light as hell, and then non-existent, and then hard as fuck again. So, I don't know. But, don't get me wrong, I get, everybody processes trauma differently and whatnot. It's like, no matter what you did, they just didn't give a fuck. I'm not saying she's a bad parent, people make mistakes, people, she thinks, oh, well, it's fine, I can just he understands, which, now thinking about it, why doesn't he understand? I would feel like if it's been going on for a while, these planned explosions, that Ethan would know that they exist, and Gabe would have already told him, or the mom would have told him, like Charlotte should have said something, but I guess not, because reasons. Also, apparently Ethan's dad's still in the picture, in the sense of like he goes to live with his dad at one point, or rather goes to go see his dad rather. I feel like if you were informed that your child was about to do something dangerous, and at a very late time actually, your child sneaks out of your care, your 10-year-old kid sneaks out of your care and almost dies, and someone else dies in front of him, that sounds like child neglect to me. And I feel like the state would have taken Ethan away. That's usually what happens. And he would have went with his dad, but I guess apparently that didn't happen, and she just, like, nothing happened to her, and I guess everything's just cool. He must hear them. It's not like he just doesn't hear them. He must hear them. Like, it's weird that conversation just never occurred, or Gabe never told them that. It's weird. Speaking of Gabe was kind of a weird, like, I didn't fuck with Gabe, because him being weird with his sister after he fought with Mac was real strange. I was supposed to live there. You were gonna leave me alone in that place. Some random guy came to the place you wanted me to stay in and came and beat your ass. Do you think that makes me feel safe? Do you think that makes me feel cool with living here? But I'm the weird one for beating his ass. He was beating you up, I beat his ass, and I'm the weird one, and they know where I live. That doesn't make me feel safe. I'd be like, you're real weird if you just ran off after that. Didn't comfort me, didn't think about how that made me feel and how that might make me feel staying here. Yeah, I'm gonna be 100 with you. When you're more frustrated with me than the guy who beat you up, yeah, I'm gonna go back to where I was. I'll see my doctor again, because that smells toxic environment to me, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. Like, the whole thing with her fighting or getting into fights and then people kind of distancing themselves from her, it was just kind of weird, because I'm just like, most kids in the foster care system system. Like, it's not weird for kids like Alex aren't weird. Actually, she seemed like the most normal person that would be in there. Like, they acted like she was so aggressive or so this, that, and the third, and it's like there was never signs of that. Whatever, maybe that's just how it is. Well, I can't even say that because up here, that's the weird shit people be doing. I don't know. And I'm sick of this. This is like a trope, and I'm done with it. The whole trope of, well, we know we didn't tell you we were gonna do this thing. Like, we didn't tell you were gonna go up on stage and like play the guitar, but let's do it, and you'll have fun, and that's cool. Bro, I'm telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, you do that shit to some people, they're pissed off. Like, I'm sick of it being like, yeah, no, do this thing that this person wasn't expecting, and like, you're having a good time. Like, most of the time, people aren't here for that shit. I don't care if I can play the guitar. I don't care if I like playing the guitar. I don't care if I like performing. Don't just put me on stage randomly. Like, I'm not prepared. I didn't know shit was happening. I did enjoy the backstory for Sam. That's not her name. I enjoyed the backstory for Alex, and like when they were talking about when she was in the orphanage and her mom and the way her dad left and all those types of things. First of all, didn't really make sense of when her dad left. You cannot just abandon your children, and that's fine. You are going to jail. Like, you could put your children up for adoption, which would have made sense of what he told them. Like, yeah, I put you guys up for adoption, but that's not what they said. They said he just left, so that means he's going to jail. But other than that, when the conversation was happening and seeing Sam, why I keep calling her Sam, seeing Alex actually talk through and have real life emotions like a person, it was actually pretty nice. Excuse me. I did actually enjoy the storyline with the flower shop owner and her daughter, and her obviously having some form of dementia or whatever.
Riley, I think there's something you should know. It's kind of a long story, but I found out that Eleanor has Alzheimer's.
And seeing that through her eyes was actually really nice, and I did actually really enjoy it. The environment of the game is really pretty as well. It just gives off this like hometowny feel. I do have to say the LARP stuff was cool because I've genuinely seen LARPing. The LARP stuff was cool. They were doing too much. Maybe because again they wanted to be like, we're quirky young people and we're LARPing and we're gonna make this really like extravagant LARP and we're a community. But like they were doing a lot. So their LARP was a little more than I thought it was gonna be. It really isn't fun to watch, and I'm sure it's not too fun to do. Like, there were fun parts, but I'm just like, this could have been cut down. Still really weird. Nobody really asked how Sam was doing, just kind of insisted they do stuff and do that. It makes it feel really incomplete, and almost like everything that she had been building up was just kind of like a burp. You know what I mean? It felt like she just bursted out and she was like, feel better. And that was kind of the end of it, and everybody just kind of didn't care and let it go from there. You know, the only time I really ever believed, or it made like really great sense of how somebody feels, was at the end when Jeb did what he did and he was getting exposed for it, and the guy was like, no, I don't believe you. Like, Alex, like, no, I don't believe you. You're probably just, being irrational here. I believe my literal dad.
You believe me, right? Ryan?
Why are you doing this? My dad is not a murderer. Were you afraid we couldn't get Typhon? Is that why you need someone else to blame? I thought we were in this together. For Gabe.
Ryan.
No. I'm not gonna let you do that to me anymore.
Like him doing that is a normal response to this type of situation. He literally treated Gabe as a son. Why would he kill him? And Alex had no proof at that point. So this all is just coming out of nowhere. Jeb wasn't even a suspect up until now. That is the most normal response. And to be honest with you, to be quite frank, Jeb has been the best person out of everybody. The last thing I want to talk about, just because I want this to end, is how bad this should have turned for Alex at one point. Now, maybe I haven't seen the ending where this happens, but at one point, her using her powers should have been seen as manipulation. And not just at the end there, because it did at one point, because he was like, you know, don't touch me, I don't want that, I don't even want you to, like, no, I don't want you to try to make my feelings different from what they are. Other than that, it really should have been seen as manipulation at one point. That's right up, that's what she was doing at one point. She was taking away people's feelings. She was feeling people's feelings, going into their personal thoughts, not just to help the case. At one point, she wanted to be a fixer, and I get that, Alex is a fixer, but there had to be consequences, I would feel like at one point. Like at significant points, there had to be consequences for her doing those things. At first, she was very hesitant of it, but then after a while, it was just like, oh yeah, all the hesitancy I've had for years of trauma, of using those powers and feeling my emotions, it's just, it's gone. Houdini in this bitch. Like, I can just do whatever I want and I'm just gonna use it to help people. And it's like, at one point, it should have been more of a negative, and I feel like it just wasn't enough of that. Anyways, overall, I'm sure many people like the Life is Strange series. I didn't, and I don't. And this game was not really any different. I mean, it was interesting watching people I like play this game and their reactions to this stuff. But honestly, other than that, I would never play this game. If it wasn't for those people, I would have never watched this game, to be perfectly honest with you. And honestly, like, it's about a 4 out of 10 in my opinion. I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend somebody maybe watch it if they wanted to, but I would never recommend anybody take the money to buy it. Anyways, it's a long ass video, but that's it now. I thought there was gonna be like a DLC with Steph. I don't care about her. I don't want the melodramatic. I don't want that. I want these real deep moments that could just be expanded on with your little murder mystery. Like, I just want that. I'm just never gonna get that. So yeah, but I'm done. It's cold. I want this to be done with. I might make a video on the positive aspects of this and really like make a whole thing, but until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Also, there's no way she survived going down several beams just straight down a fucking tunnel with some bullshit. Like, whatever.
Just remember this. We could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there, made us realize we're more